Hey guys, and welcome back to some more glorious Immortal Empires Early Access multiplayer. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, and yes, you can see I'm actually on the screen right now, taking part in a battle, and I shall be leading the forces of the mighty lizardmen in a free-for-all clash up against a load of awesome people. So, on the left, leading the force of Tzeentch is going to be dahvplays. Just across from me is indypride of Milk and Cookies Total War, leading the force of Be'lakor, and on the right-hand side, we have the legendary Samurai Warrior, and he is going to be coming in with grimgor ironhide. Absolute Chad stuff, abundant, really awesome builds everywhere. This is going to be an awesome showdown for sure. Now, I've been saying this at the start of every video, so I'm sure everyone's very tired of it, but I'm dropping 2 videos on Immortal Empires every single day. I'd really appreciate if you guys subscribe, so you'll be able to catch them where possible, because YouTube tends not like, pushing more than 1 video a day. So let's beat up YouTube, basically. I want more Immortal Empires stuff, and I'm sure you guys do as well. So we're going to be bringing a pretty fun and thematic build, and by fun and thematic, I mean we're going to bring a giant floating duck, which is the coatl, hiding the thunderous one, the regiment of renowned ancient stegodon, as well as Lord mazdamundi, coming with nets, curse of midnight wind, healing, and of course all of his area of effect damage spells. We have a bucket ton of sarus as well, a mixture of basic ones as well as spearmen, couple of javelins, and the cohort of Sotek in the back. For dahvplays, he's coming in with another duck in the sky, so you've got to respect him. He is coming in with the feathered prince, which is pretty badass. A long line of blue horrors, backed up by the exalted plague bearers, Hellforge host, as well as the festering stooges. We have 2 units of the flamers of Tzeentch, and an allurus of shadows on her rather horrendous and horrifying chariot. I don't really ever want to be run over by a chariot, but this is certainly going to be on the top 5 list of chariots I certainly do not want to be run over by the most. Across from us is indypride's forces of glorious chaos here, and let's take a small moment to appreciate the new models for the Chaos Knights. Look how much better they look. They look insane. Look how much they dwarf the Hellstriders, just as it should be. So a bucket ton of cav here. We've got Hellstriders, we've got Chaos Knights, we have Forsaken as well in the mix, as well as a Hell Cannon there, which is pretty cool. And of course, we have Be'lakor flying up in the skies. Now, across in the final army here, a bit of a death blob of carnage, is going to be the Green Boys, led by Samurai Warriors Grimgor Ironside. Or Ironhide, I should say. It's Bjorn Ironside, Grimgor Ironhide. That's the way to remember it. Load of Savage Orc Biggins, load of Orc Boys. Just all the lads out to play in a roving ball of death. We've got Orc Arab Boys in here. We've got Stone Trolls. And we even have the Crimson Killers, which I believe I do party with a little bit later on. So we'll have to see how they indeed perform. And looks like hidden in the trees there's a couple of units of the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. And I don't really want to face Tzeentch. They've got a lot of shooting, and I'm not really down to clown with them. So I'm trying to move my single entities over instead to fight the greenskins, but unfortunately for me, the greenskins don't want to get sandwiched between me and the chaos, and it looks like Darv has a sneaky couple of schemes up his feathered sleeve, which would make sense, of course, being leading a Tzeentch Lord into action. So I've got to fall back here, and I don't want to be the one to get sandwiched. So lots of betrayal and backstabbing already. Wanted to jump the greenskins, that wasn't going to happen, so I'm going to pull back. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a sneaky duck play here as well. I'm going to pull quite far back, so if these guys want to fight me on either side, it's going to be a full-on freeway with a load of carnage in all different directions. Now, we do have the first blue fire being launched at down range, and actually does some pretty damn good work. Despite the fact it's made for single entities, it does good work against infantry if it can catch them. Now, the Allurus doesn't know what's under my coatl, but she's about to find out. So we're going to be pinning her in place with a net of Amantok, and our Lord Mazdamundi's on his way. This is what you get for coming too close to the might of the old ones. Alas, the coatl gets a little over, and he actually blocks Lord Mazdamundi's charge, which certainly isn't what I want to see happen. He also gets a Gaze of Fate on him. We're going to do some okay damage to the Allurus, but it's going to be a bit tit for tat. No one's going to go too ham here. I believe, yeah, the Allurus is going to be able to get out of there relatively quickly. And once again, I'm still going to be getting sandwiched there. It looks like Tzeentch is kind of going on the demon strike the long-ish way round. That should allow me just to fall back a little bit and hopefully get out of the danger zone. We do have some Durkit Squigs on arrival. Looks like they might want to party as well, so I'm going to continue to fall back, try to rotate my arm around into a better position. Poor indypride just wants someone to fight, but no one will come over and party with him, so it looks like he might be dueling a couple of Hellstriders. No, they're all his own troops, so he's quite annoyed probably at now, trying to get down and dirty with the lads and getting in the action, but alas, he can't do it at the moment. Sarus are going to be making it back. Lord Mazdamundi is nearby, going to be fending off at those pesky little Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. Don't want them anywhere near me. Grimgor is on arrival, though, and Grimgor looks pretty damn angry, leading the boys from the front. I'm hoping there's going to be some support from my duck counterpart here. Maybe some air effect spells coming down on the greenskins. The Thunderous one is going to be moving forward. It looks like our Saurus are going to be taking position, and now the battle can truly get underway. Big shot comes in there by the little old gobbo. Lovely little shot magic missile going up, although it looks like the Feathered Prince was able to absorb pretty much all of that on his shield. And once again, I'm going to continue to rotate and fall back. And now you can see my plan. Like, I'm going to be attacked from the same angle by both of these guys, which is going to mean pretty much they have to fight each other as well. So Dirkit Squigs, as well as Nightgone Swinghoppers, are on arrival. We're going to counter-punch them very quickly. The Thunderous One and Lord Mazdamundi. We do some pretty damn big damage just straight off the rip here. Down to about half HP on the Dirkit Squigs. We have Javelins being launched in, and Trolls are on arrival, which is a little bit scary. The Third Prince takes another shot up the rear end from that Night Goblin Shaman, who's got a Death Wish, it seems. Taurus Warriors will be moving into position, and now the Javelins are just unleashing hell, aiming at those Stone Trolls, trying to break them off the battlefield as quickly as possible. Shield of the Old Ones goes down. We do have a Pit of Shades in the distance. That's going to ensnare quite a few Savage Orc Biggins. I'm actually going to take advantage of this myself and also cast one of my bound abilities from the coatl down onto this ground, because these units can't dodge it. So a really terrible day to be a Savage Orc Biggin here as they get hit back to back with magical spells. Coatl is going to dive in, and we're looking to break up the Greenskin forces as quickly as possible. Both Stone Trolls are being terrified of, and Grimgor is a bit of a meanie, so he's going to be popping your necks on Lord Mazdamundi. We've got the Thunderous One nearby. We've got a banishment coming in on the Savage Orc Biggins, so life is going pretty good for a dino at the moment. Elsewhere on the battlefield, I've got some Saurus getting involved in a fight they shouldn't really be getting involved in. And luckily for me, the betrayal of the demons may well be their downfall, because indypride is in a hurry to get in on the action, and he's going to be rear attacking this force, which wasn't able to break me quick enough, and has actually spent the majority of his time facing greenskins. Look how quickly those Savage Orc Biggins get wrecked. Flamers are unleashing hell upon the Chaos Warriors, and we do have the Knights just ramrodding their way through the rear end of this greenskin formation, shutting down Orc Arrow Boys, and I'm almost in the perfect position, it seems, in the battlefield, because I got my back to the wall. I am kind of getting stuck and pushed backwards, but that's fine, because all my opponents, in their eagerness to get to my army, will have to fight each other. Cold Sotek doing a decent job down here. Lord Mazdamundi bounding around. We have the Thunderous One, as well as some Saurus Warriors looking to surround the Crimson Killers, who are still up to 32 kills, despite being surrounded by giant, scary single entities. And it must be said, my build is maybe a little bit more sweaty than I realized. Single entities, very powerful in free-for-alls, because you can just move and choose your favorite engagements. But, you know, it's the Dino Boys. You got to rep the old ones. Orc Boys getting forced off here. Crimson Killers also going to be going down. We do have the Hellforged host on arrival, and that coatl is trying to get a little bit of vengeance. He's been allured in by the Alluress and is trying to snipe her where possible. A load of javelins going down onto the Hellforged host is going to get some okay work there. In the main fight, which doesn't really involve me at the moment, it looks like things are getting very, very scrappy. Flamers are being kept online. Beautiful play by dahvplays there. And Hellstriders are getting dragged down as well by a mixture of blue horrors, as well as some good play by the Feathered Prince. Now, Bellicor is very scary, and it looks like Milk and Cookies indypride does have the majority of his army left, so he's probably my biggest threat right now. I feel like we're doing pretty good in our hometown. We are able to dodge a gigantic, just fires of Tzeentch raining down upon us. And it looks like we're also going to be receiving a bit of help. A Pit of Shades coming down, taking out our skinks, but also getting rid of the Hellforged host, which is certainly good for me. Now, the greenskins aren't out of this yet, though. They're currently hiding and lurking in the trees. We have Grimgor Ironhide rallying the boys in the back, and they're going to be still quite a pain. Grimgor, though he is slow and perhaps still considered a bit of a meme, if he can get in the right fight, he can do some pretty solid damage for sure. There is disgusting amounts of fire being popped over here. Let's see what's happening. So, Flames of Tzeentch unleashing hell upon Bellicor. Looks like he does currently have the Shadow Shroud on him, giving him 40% damage resistance, which is very nice. And I'm going to come and help out Indy here and his Chaos. We were allies in a previous video I did, so I was like, I've got to help him out. Let's shut down these flamers and get them off at the battlefield. There's a banishment coming in as well, which is going to be tearing the souls out of the Chaos Knights, banishing them back to the ethereal planes from whence they came, and judging their souls. So Lord Mazdamundi and the Thunderous One going to be moving in here. Blue Horror's getting overwhelmed. We have a little lightning coming down as well from the Thunderous One, and we've got a decent infantry corps. It looks like Grimgor is starting to show his ugly head again and come out into the action. Portal's bounding around, and I think actually it's going to be a pretty common pickup against the demon factions, because demons tend to go pretty strong in the air, and we do magic attacks with the coatl, which is really nice. Curse of the Bad Moon does come down. Still one of my favorite animations since Warhammer 1. It's absolutely legendary. Doing some pretty big damage as well. It's doing massive work onto our Sarus right now. I'm not a big fan of this. It does come in with a Dynasty Curse, which is a really powerful debuff. I don't think people realize quite how powerful that can be, and it lasts for a relatively decent amount of time. Bellicor is fighting the coatl here. Lord Mazdamundi does come in with a rear end strike though, and Bellicor is being forced off once more. We do have some Chaos Warriors moving in on the action. It looks like the Feathered Prince is surrounded by the new and improved Chaos Knights. Although I don't know if their stats have changed, I think it's just their models, but maybe I'm wrong with that. I love the flaming hooves as well, and they are driving away the prince, who is looking pretty cool as he swaggers away, looking cool and calm, but I don't think anyone's cool and calm when Chaos Horses are nipping at your rear end. So at this point, we've done decent damage. We came in, we messed up the fights a little bit. There's still a lot of Chaos troops here, but I'm after high-value targets. This is a free-for-all after all. It's not last man standing, though that does give you a bonus. It's all about damage. So I'm looking at Grimgor, and I'm thinking, you know what? I might be able to take him down here. We have the Flamers of Tzeentch as well, getting jumped by the coatl. I just love this duck. It's like a beast of 1,000 ducks just floating around. Combination of duck and snake, just devouring Flamers of Tzeentch. Magic attacks really help out. 57 kills so far, causing himself to be an absolute nuisance. Now, the Crimson Killers come bursting forth from the trees, axes held high. Saurus attempt to retreat, but there is no retreat. There's no surrender. There's no peace options here. The Crimson Killers are simply going to come in and jump them. I'm trying to get over with some of my single entities to come help out the boys. Elsewhere, we have Chaos Warriors being surrounded by the Cult of Sotek, which should go relatively well for us. Looks like the Third Prince is most likely going to be going down. Chaos Knights did a really fantastic job pinning him in place, and that's allowed Bellicor to come over and slap this Demon Prince, claiming he's a lesser Demon Prince. Bellicor is the true ruler of all the Chaos Gods, at least in his mind, and he's now going to be floating over to engage our main army. Elsewhere, there's a little bit of fighting. Lovely sneaky play by the greenskin player. I love this. Look at this dirty play. The Night Goblin Squid Cobbler is going to jump over here and shut down the Hell Cannon. There's not enough support nearby. Looks like Marauders are on their way with Forsaken. Maybe they'll get there in time to save it, but I'm incredibly doubtful. Big fight going on in the trees. Shield of the Old Ones is popped. Quator's got a little over-eager, but he is chasing off routing units here. And Lord Mazdamundi is indeed dueling at Grimgor Ironside, who does have Gitsnick currently popped, which is pretty scary stuff. There's also the Crimson Killers around here, so I don't want to stay in here for too long. Thunderous One is going to come in with a bit of a rear attack onto these units to attempt to break them. And I say a charge. He kind of just lightly nudges his way into the Black Hawks, but that's enough to send them flying. We are going to be falling back a little bit here, and it looks like there's a big debuff. Itchy Nuisance is coming in, but we're going to leave with a bit of a thunder fart coming down and just doing some rather nasty and smelly damage to the Crimson Killers and falling back to our main force. And I say our main force, we've kind of run out of infantry because out of nowhere the Chaos Warrior army is upon us doing some pretty decent damage. I feel like at the moment, Indy has definitely the larger force, but we still have our kind of expensive units left alive. Though it looks bad for us, and we've lost so much of our army, the majority of my money went into these 3 units, and they're all still alive and kicking. We are going to ensnare Bellicor with a net of Amantok, and we're going to go for a big old jump play here. Quattl coming down, we have Mazdamundi. Thunderous One is just going back to back, giving Lord Mazdamundi's like a bit of a back rub. Actually going to be trying to get a little bit greedy here, going after Grimgor as well as Bellicor. We do have a rather well-placed, though, Shadow Shroud, it must be said, given that 40% damage resistance, but still 2v1, it's not going to go super well. Dark Master goes down, and Enfeeble and Float on Lord Mazdamundi. We're going to counter this with an Apotheosis, and the Thunderous One is going to leave Grimgor to his own devices there, whirl around and going for a bit of a flank attack on Bellicor, who rather wisely is going to be falling back here. Cult of Sotek getting run over. We still have a few spearmen left fighting. They should be able to take down some of the cavalry, and we've got some real nasty troops left kicking. There's a lot of knights left around, though, and they do kind of scare me because they have the mass to pin me in place. It seems like they're going to be moving over to the trees, maybe to try to rout off these greenskin units which are close to the edge. Grimgor and the Crimson Killers there, not up to too much. The enemy cavalry is getting forced back by the Thunderous One, who's just having an absolute whale of a time. You can see all these guys are in a hot retreat here. And now, once again, I'm going to be coming after Bellicor, who's trying to have his way with some Saurus Warriors. Not a big fan of that. So the Coatl is on arrival. We do have a rather lovely Shield of the Old Ones go down. Once again, big attacks coming in. Bellicor down to just 4k HP. I say that. Oh my god, look how quickly he's going down. That's insane. Down to 3,000, losing 1,000 HP just like that. We're getting an Apotheosis going down as well, healing up our Lord and Saviour Mazdamundi, as Bellicor just gets absolutely roasted. He's going to try and retreat and get out of there, but if he gets pinned in place one more time, he is certainly going to be dead. Grimgor's having a whale of a time, just hunting down at Chaos Knights, trying to use his mighty axe to cleave them asunder. And though they can do some good cycle charging, they are able to break off of the Crimson Killers. You can see many a body is on the ground, most of them felled by Grimgor's axe, who's coming over to the main fight to partake. Up in the skies, a bit of a fight. The coatl going toe-to-toe with Be'lakor, which in his weakened state, I thought we might be able to win, but we do get enfeebled and foe popped on us, so I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. You're poisoned. I'm just going to retreat and run away and destroy the rest of your army as you kind of go on a duck hunt after the mighty coatl there. So Lord Mazdamundi and the Thunderous One are still relatively healthy. They're going to be getting closer to their healing caps, mainly just due to the fact I'm out of magic at this point, most likely. We used quite a few apotheoses on these bad boys, and you can see all the Hellstriders are just fleeing, running for their lives. We have the cohort also poisoning his troops. coatl comes in for a big rear attack on Be'lakor, doing a big damage to him there. 1,600 HP is all that remains. Thunderous One, many of the Dark Masters popped on him, but he is truly the master of the Dark Arts, so he's going to be surrounding Be'lakor, coming in and doing some pretty juicy work. It looks like in the distance we actually have a lone unit here. I believe this is Darv's unit left. It's from the Demons, not from Chaos, and it's the Festering Stooges who are on their way rather slowly. Some of the animations from the coatl there, breathing lightning bolts onto Be'lakor's face. He's trying to survive. The Shadow Shroud has been popped. He is incredibly tanky as far as Legendary Lords go, and I still don't know how I feel about it. I know a lot of people want the Demons to come into, like the Undivided Demons, to come into ranked multiplayer and stuff. I think maybe it's okay. I think it probably is okay as long as Be'lakor's not involved or he gets a points increase. So I personally still think he's incredibly powerful in the right hands. Because the Bad Moon goes down, it's doing some nice damage to those Chaos Knights, which are going to break and flee. Grimgor is still fighting. I don't know for much longer, though. Chaos Knights, with that debuff of Dynasty Curse, and them is actually helping me out quite a bit. We got some big shots into the rear of the Thunderous One. Samurai Warrior breaking my heart, as usual, of the greenskin play there. Coming in with that, what's it called again? Is it Vindictive Glare? It's been so long since I've done much Warhammer 2 play, but yeah, Vindictive Glare coming in, doing some pretty juicy work. Grimgor is being shut down, and the coatl can now hunt down that Night Goblin Shaman. I think at this point, we're going to fast forward it, because you can pretty much see how this is going to go. Grimgor is going to be just getting absolutely wailed upon by the single entities, and the Night Goblin Shaman not having a good day whatsoever. Grimgor does indeed bite the bullet there, and there is no one who can stop me. The real question is, did I get enough points? Because I'm definitely going to get last man standing here. If we have a look of the battlefield, there's literally nothing that can stop me whatsoever. There's a few haggard units on all sides, but yeah, it's Festering Stooges. They may last a while, but they're going to go down pretty damn quickly there. I think the battle wraps up in just a second. There is still a Night Goblin Shaman left alive, and I can't currently see him, so I've got to go over there and try to find my opponent. But have I got enough value? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Yes or no? Dun, dun, dun. Dun. Yes, we are victorious. I've been having so much fun doing free-for-alls, it must be said. It's largely down just to playing with a really cool group of people. And a massive shout out to all these guys. Once again, they're all YouTube channels. I mean, I think I'm the smallest channel, realistically, by a significant margin who has early access right now. So you probably know all these other guys anyway, but if you don't, definitely go check them out. They all do glorious multiplayer content, and it was a really good fun game. Be'lakor's just an absolute wallbeater. 5k value, 300 kills is gnarly. But Mazdamundi and the Thunderous One, everyone hates the Thunderous One but me, and the Thunderous One repays my love so much. It's an incredibly powerful unit. People just don't want to believe. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this fight. It was a real good fun scrap, and I'll go over some of the big units in a second and see their damage value and the highlights. But if you guys enjoyed, really appreciate good old likes and subscribes and comments and all that good stuff. Let me know down below what was your favourite moment. There's also a load of links down below: Twitch, Patreon, Discord, the usual stuff. I am dropping 2 videos a day, probably for the first week of this early access, so I think I was able to drop stuff on Thursday, so Thursday to Thursday expect 2 videos a day. Then we'll be going down to 1 video as is standard. But yeah, there is some really cool stuff, man. Mazdamundi, 3k value, Thunderous One, 4.3, 2.4 coatl. I thought the Cult of Sotek, though they didn't get the best value, were quite sticky and nice. 1.2k on the Sarus was pretty nice. Of course, Be'lakor standout, 4.9k value. Knights did okay, nothing too crazy. 1k on the Hell Cannon isn't too shabby. The Feathered Prince is a cool pick, 2k value on him, 2.2k on the Festering Stooges. 910 on the Hellforged Host. How did the Flamers do? Not good. They got shut down a little early. And obviously, Samurai Warrior coming with the most Chad pick of all. Grimgor, 1.8k value on him. And nearly 1.2 on the Crimson Killers, which isn't too shabby. Until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.